As soon as I get the microphone all set up, well, that sounds better. That wasn't as loud. We'll get started. So everybody get something to drink or get comfortable. It's a little warm in here, but for me, because I've been running around. So if anybody needs an adjustment with the temperature, we can always open the door, turn the fans off if you're cold. Well, it's technology. I look like I know what I'm doing, don't I? So I've got a little light up here for those that might not be able to see what they're reading, but a lot of people are using their phones and stuff like that, which I don't. So I'm Debbie Johnson. This is Freshly Brewed Poems. So excited to see some new members and some people that I've grown up with. Let's put it that way. We started with, I think it was September of 2021, I think, at Larry's Coffee. That's why the name Freshly Brewed. But it's worked out well because we end up at beer places, and that's Brewed too. So it's kind of a nice way to think about it. We slowly kind of outgrew Larry's Coffees and started going out on our own. Zach, who owns this business here, was a friend of my daughter's, so I kind of wheedled my way into that. But he's really good with supporting the arts and people that are doing things. They have all kinds of stuff that happens here. And he's opening one down in Wilmington, too, a tap yard down in Wilmington. So if you're down in Wilmington, make sure you support him down there, too. And I will start. I do have a live feed going, so if there, like I said before, if anybody's on the witness protection program, too bad. No, I can put you at the end if you want, and I can turn the live feed off. So, but I find it to be a really good way to, watch yourself perform and to get better. So, all right. So I will start, and is the microphone on enough? Okay. So a lot of times we have time to do a second round. So if you guys want to stick around for a second round, we'll take a break about 8 o'clock maybe, depending on how many people we've gotten through, and then come back and do a second round. And I always found the second round is really, really nice because you're relaxed and not as nervous like I am right now. So I'm going to do. I was going to do one different order, but I think I'm going to do a different one. That's what you do, right? So this one's called CAD, right? And I need light in about. And while I'm fussing around up here, I'm just going to say the next people that are going to be reading will be Aleeah, right? And then, can't read my own handwriting. Yes. And then Helen after that, so I wrote it down. Helen, are you reading tonight? Yeah. Cool. Awesome. So this is called CAD. Her friends hated him. She, on the other hand, did not. She looked past the arrogance, not really believing in it there. to how she felt in his arms, a step into his embrace upon departure, a goodbye the first night they met, sealed the deal, as they say. Even the love of female jazz singers wasn't the cement that bound, like that hug, winter coats open, she slipped into and stepped into a room that felt like nothing before. Years later, it still captured and conjured up that surprise of, oh my God, what have we here? A fit not fit before, a spark of instant home, even after the havoc beset upon her through years of jealousy and incomplete expectations. It still was the finest moment in a long line of moments that can't be explained to her friends. It's just that moment. But why she endured those moments, in a shapeless relationship, non-descriptive in terms that the audience of her companions could not grasp. It's just that he makes me feel, she'd say, and he's a cat, to a cat. No, he's not. It's just, and then the excuses get lamer and her heart breaks and bleeds and revisits of spaces they previously shared. All she could think was about how he made her feel that night in December, under a neon moon, in an embrace that could change everything. For you guys. You're the ones who tell me he's a cat, so yeah. So anyway, it's dark up here. I can't see. I'm having trouble. So I'm making up as I was reading my poems. I was kind of making them up. It's fun that way. This one's okay. This is thank you. I got a light up here. I should just freaking use it. Oh my god. Yeah. Okay. This one's called Hands Over Privates. You came at me from a long distance of a few feet, captured me in an embrace, and held on till it was time to let me go. Only after they said, oh, it's fine, I can move. After they said, only after they cackled, get a room, hanging your head in mock shame, hands over private, did you skulk away? The long distance of a few feet covered in an instant, you teased me with your eyes. Following me wherever I looked, I try not to look at you. Only after some pretense to speak do I look at you. I like to look at you and want to feel hands over privates. Thank you very much. Alrighty, and then the last one. It's the one that I like the best. This is all you can eat. Mussels Monday, yes. It was all you could eat. Mussels Monday, vintage wallpaper, reminiscence of pulled down, mite-filled plaster in college town apartments of our youth, hovered over our table. I sat and looked at that wallpaper, diamonds of turquoise outlined with gold fleur-de-lis, truly ugly but magical in that hidey-hole restaurant, laughing, eating mussels, breaking the records of bowls ordered, silly and fool and sinfully contemplating another round. He said, you know, I've been thinking about this lady I'm working with, and I think there's more to it. I want to be open to pursue it. He said that as I decided that the wallpaper was going to be permanently indelible in my mind's eye, just as the taste of garlic lamb wine sauce would smack of rejection. Innocent mussels cut off the floor of the ocean or the riverbed or wherever they fucking lived their fucking happy lives. Before he came to bear witness to his emotional infidelity, not bound to her, under no obligation except friendship and the sharing of a bed winding down a 6-year love affair, they had settled into a coupling, monogamous and exclusive, knowing he wanted to flee. Time again, his scorpion sting would make a break, but grandiose ideas faded, and he'd return. She'd take him back, and they'd sit and watch Jeopardy by the artificial fireplace. Battery, candles flicker, and the fruit flies flutter. They'd sit in an embrace not sat before in all their geriatric years, his arm around her, her back against him, his hand cupping her breast without intention. Stomachs too full from a meal. Here, though, tonight, with the mussels shells piled and the sauce glistening greasy on the dark wood table, concrete floor abstract art of gray, He said he had to see where it led. She keenly took notice of the floor's similarity to the designer's scarf around his neck. Is there a way to let the air out of your soul so many times that it no longer can be filled again, flaccid? She came all the time, over and over, the first man to do that ever to her. Their lovemaking thick and drenching, never quite done, an endless series of toss and tumbles until the time he said, it's not you, it's me. You mean I'm not the you need me to be? So yeah, it's me. Staring at the hideous mid-century colors, eating mussels my mid-century parents brought me up on, being dumped by a mid-century born bald man to pursue an unshareable dream I never was invited to dream. There you go. There you go. So I am going to turn it over to my friend, and I must admire her and thank her very much for helping me set up tonight. So thank you very much.
So I'm writing a book. I'm writing a book called Keep Going, It's Okay. And it's a book about my life, and I'm going to read two passages from it. This passage is called She Is Me. My past self, one that is scared, unsure, and hopeless. A girl that never speaks and never smiles. A girl growing up in a full house, yet she is alone in all that she does. It's been that way for so long it feels normal to her. She trusts everyone with her whole heart because she hasn't been betrayed yet. She doesn't want to upset anyone, so she never moves. When she does move, she walks as lightly as a feather so as to not make noise. She doesn't have the words to explain anything that's going on inside of her head. She can't go to her parents to cry because they're never around. Her older sisters are moving to college, and then she will truly feel alone. She feels all these big feelings, big, unexplainable emotions, and she just sits there with a blank face because she can't figure out what to say. She was kept in isolation from the outside world because her parents didn't want her to be corrupted. She begins to feel worthless. She feels as though no one would care if she was gone because she is barely an established family member. She has never had thoughts like these before. These were extreme and life-threatening thoughts. She can't get them out of her head. She begins to hurt herself in any way that she can think of, physically, emotionally, and her very own internal voice. She was bullied, and she begins to think that they were right all along. She will never be anything worth waiting for. She feels despair. The only thing she is doing that makes her feel good is schoolwork. Studying and playing the piano are the only thing that takes her mind off of these thoughts. What happened to her? She was so happy before. She always felt like she would never make it this far in life. She always believed that she would die young. When she gets older, every birthday she has, she thinks, this is my last year. That's why she always cries on her birthday. She doesn't know how to keep friends when she can barely keep herself afloat. Once she is 13, everything somehow gets worse. She and her siblings will get into a car crash. Everyone will be okay except her little sister, who will suffer a broken neck. Her mother will be in the hospital for 8 really long months. When her mother finally gets home, she will die only 4 weeks later, 3 days before Christmas. After that, she will feel like she is below rock bottom. She feels nothing but despair. All the thoughts she has are negative. Every word that is spoken to her feels backhanded. She can't cope. She attempts and it doesn't work. She will be sent to the hospital 8 times. She will be in therapy for 5 years. She will be bullied again while she's in the hospital. She feels like everything is against her and that she can't possibly. Her mind is like this for 4 more years. When she is 17, she goes to a memorial garden. She finds that there were people who died the same year she was born. A new thought comes into her head for the first time in a while. What if I'm living a life that someone wished they would have stayed for? What if my life was bad? Should I stay and see how it turns out? Should I stay for the people who couldn't? All of these new thoughts were overwhelming. A lot of questions that needed to be answered. Somehow she was going to get those answers. She decided she would stay and see if everyone was right and would get better. She started to look for positive things for the first time ever. She found out that she would love to go to a university. She wants to publish her work. She wants to dance her heart out. She wants to speak for those who can't. She is living for those who aren't. One day she will live for herself. One day she will have a community. She has hope. She is me and I am her. I have seen that life is hard and that surviving yourself is harder. I have hope that it will be worth it. I can faintly see the light at the end of the tunnel. I have support. I have love. I have life, so I should live it. And then this next one, the last one I'm going to read, is called I'm Finding Myself. I was 7 and I didn't know anything was wrong at first. I was sticking to what I believed was right. Once I found out that it wasn't right, I changed my thinking and acted accordingly. I believe a person should hold to their values and what they believe is right. Sometimes it's a hard thing to do, and I think it's the right thing to do as long as it's safe and doesn't. I feel sometimes that I'm grieving what I wanted to experience. I wanted to experience love, trust, and all the other good things in life. I feel like I won't have them one day. I feel myself ripping away from. The longer you stay on the wrong train, the further from home you are, and it costs you more to stay put. Why am I abandoning myself? This is what I was afraid was going to happen. Why live life if it doesn't matter when you die? I know that life is worth living. My curiosity and support has been what has kept me going. My biggest supporters, my family, have done a great job. I just don't want to abuse their help. It feels scary knowing that I'll have to support myself today. I'm scared to turn 18. I'm scared to lose a safety net one day. I'll always have them, and I need to figure things out for myself too. I feel like I was a vase thrown against the wall, shattering me into a million pieces. But my soul has been trying to find all the pieces to put back together, and my soul is exhausted. How can I motivate myself if I'm in a million pieces? How do I sing for my bones to come together if there are no bones left? How do I make myself get back together if I'm not there? I think I need to remember to slow down and take a break. I don't have to do everything at once. The only reason I feel that way is because I never thought I would make it this far. I've got to get it in my head that I am staying. I get to make a new plan, one that holds my future. I've got something positive to look forward to. Maybe my soul doesn't need to put myself back together. I should find new pieces to incorporate. If I can find anything negative, I know there's always a positive nearby. Don't compare your journey to anyone else's. Everyone has to learn, and most of the time it looks different for everyone. Give yourself some grace and remember that this is your first time living too.
Who's next? So yeah, sorry about the crackling in the microphone. So.
Hi, I'm Claire. I'm gonna read some poems that are recent explorations of love. If you visit St. John and drive far enough up the island, you'll find the Annaberg plantation ruin. Annaberg, named supposedly after love, such a hateful place. How can one know love and be so loveless, be so horrid? Repent, Proverbs something or another. I am not a person of God, or at least not a Christian one. But I feel the need to be repentive, if that is a thing. To be in this space, to take up space here, and to know what my ancestors did, even if not in this spot. And then there's Miss Olivia, Miss Christian, with her knowledge and bread and tea shared, her enthusiasm, her love, given a space here. There is welcome, there is love, she makes room for me to be here, and I am thankful, and I repent. Not in a way of self-flagellation, but in a way of offering love, of a prayed apology, a prayed thank you, and I'm sorry. It was not me, I hope it wouldn't be, if I was in that time. but I am here profiting from the privilege that led me to this space. So I say thank you, and I'm sorry, and I promise to do better. I promise to truly practice love. And this is a love letter for my dad. At the edge of the waves with my dad. At every beach, a classic photo. At the edge of the waves, my dad holding my hand. Sometimes the waves are big, sometimes the sun is blocked, but he always holds my hand. Within the waves, we drift apart, or dance away to throw the ball, but I know we will always come back to each other, and he will hold my hand at the edge of the waves. For that moment, I am safe, I am loved, at the edge of the waves with my dad. I don't know if the salt on my face is from the waves or tears of overwhelming love, but I am grateful at the edge of the waves with my dad.
That's nice.
Thank you. And then this last one is a love letter to my favorite person in the world, Sarah. Their laughter tastes like maple syrup, sweet with depth and sticks to your soul. Their frown tastes like flaming hot Cheetos. When it's real, it burns, but sometimes you still laugh. Their excitement tastes like Dr. Pepper. It's bubbly and sweet, and it perks you up. Their anger tastes like lemons. It opens your eyes and makes you crinkle your nose, needing to do something about it. Their hugs taste like chocolate chip cookies, warm in childhood and home. I am hungry with the yearning to be near them again.
Thank you so much. Got a few people, just a couple of persons probably here. So if you see somebody come in and you have a chair next to you, just let us know so we can fill it in. It's so nice to see so many people. It's always great. We've got Helen and then Bob and then Rick. And I took this with me because I guess I thought I was going to be able to see.
Hi, I'm Helen. Okay, I'm just figuring out how loud to talk.
That's perfect. That's good.
Have any of y'all driven down a dirt road? Okay, you know what I'm talking about. I grew up in Harney County on a strip of land in between a state road and a dirt road. On the other side, so, this dirt road basically, pretty much like the state road, really. In Harney County, you go through, mostly farms, and acreage and trees, but, I wasn't allowed to cross the state road, but I was allowed to roam, freely on the dirt road, and it was a source of much of my childhood times, and then back in the 1980s there came the NC Highway Trust Fund. And while that was built a lot of highways, it also had the goal of paving every dirt road in North Carolina. But when it came the time for our little dirt road, we were given a choice whether we wanted it paved or not. And most of the people didn't want it paved. But there was one very powerful homeowner that was tired of getting red clay dust all over his house. And eventually, after enough conversations with this particular homeowner, people changed their minds, and we we got a paved road, and this poem is came after a trip along that new road. Sorry for the long intro. This is a country road that once was dirt. Driving down a country road to the past, looking at what's gone. Asphalt, where once dust and gravel, slow travel, and warned of traffic. Quiet, where once the approaching noise proclaimed danger or discompany. Missing the abandoned house of weathered yellow boards with curled edges that harbored a child's innocent fantasies and provided protected privacy. The fields looking out of place on either side of the dark, smooth pavement. The ditches lining the new surface are still the same mud and weed barriers to the woods and the now empty rows of stubby dirt waiting to be planted. Remembering the flashing tadpoles swimming in the puddles left after the rain saturates and drains, lasting long enough for the eggs to become tiny lives thriving. The countryside giving life, unless of course the water dries up before the frogs mature. Driving down the deserted road, not seeing reality but the past landscape. The bits of reality that remain, unlocking the mind's path to a buried youth. Wishing I'd had the courage to brave the forbidden woods and discover the magic that might have been there then and is now just shrubs in people's backyards. Fighting the urge to go looking, even now, for what I imagine might be there. A grown woman reflecting instead of a girl transforming red clay into adventure. Innocence wandering alone through the acreage and trees on either side. The joy of discovery and the igniting of inspiration from a brick tobacco barn. The fear of traveling too far from home and losing the way back to safety. The freedom of wandering alone through mysterious but still familiar territory. Yet why did she heed the warnings and not explore the hidden and unknown beyond the boundaries of what could be perceived by the naked eye? Maybe the suspicion that there would only be a highway and relatives' gardens. Was she wise enough even then not to fear the physical danger of snakes or sinkholes or poison ivy, but the loss of imagination's mystery and possibility? Traveling along a transformed lane, wishing somehow to understand the child left behind but lurking in my soul, hoping to bring that insight to the present. Mourning a carefree past, wondering where that confidence has gone. Is it forever buried under the weight of responsibilities of adulthood? Can it be retrieved by a simple trip down a transformed road triggering the past? Observations. Riding down asphalt, sealing my childhood underneath. Thank you.
I love the introduction. That kind of gave us a real feeling for it. It was pretty cool. Is everybody comfortable? I could turn the fans off. Do you want the fans off? Anybody? Are you cool? You're all right with them on? Okay. So we've got Bob, Rick, and then Nikki. So.
Hello. This art. All entangled. You are alluring Venus, and I am fiery Mars. You are violins, and I am Spanish guitars. You are cool shade, and I am sun's glow. You are Chardonnay, and I am Merlot. You are flowing water, and I am El Tingo. You are soft, subtle smooth curves, and I am strong angles. But with just a wink from you, I am all entangles. Double rainbow. Beneath the double rainbow on a rolling meadow, we met while clovers and lilies were in bloom. The wind swept through your hair, forming a halo, revealing radiance of silver. You then smiled and I was beguiled, captured by my goddess, divine allure, a wild strawberry, I was enthralled. The wandering comet, I was no more.
Go ahead, Rick. Yeah. Thank you, Bob. That was awesome.
Hi, everybody. My name is Rick Klaus Theis. I have 3 books out. They're sitting over there if you want to take a look. If you don't have much money, you're a student or retired or something, I have some free books too. So the first one's Passion Play. It's a screenplay about Christ's final days, as if there was a case where there was no such thing as a miracle. Same stuff happened as in the Bible, but it's without miracles. And then Recycled Words from a few years ago, and Lorca's Grave just came out. So first, as I usually do, I'm going to read something that isn't published yet. And this is kind of appropriate for today. There was just announced there's a peace or ceasefire in Gaza. The same ceasefire plan that was proposed 8 months ago and was accepted by Hamas and accepted by Israel, and then Israel reneged on it, said they wouldn't do it. So we had twice as many people dead. 2% of Gazans are now dead. It's called Postcards from Gaza. Interchangeable, frightened faces and myriad kafan-swaddled bodies of civilian parents and children. More than 100,000 mangled, burnt, and bloody victims. The crimes of ruthless religious zealots misusing gifted American weapons provided by AIPAC-bought politicians to enable land theft via ethnic cleansing, as astronomical arms dealer profits and apocryphal biblical prophets fuel delusional Zionist visions, atrocities barely reported on the news and only after propagandistic revisions. Exhumed, obscene pictures, initially entombed by media censors, all pieces of a simple puzzle, portraying the anguished features of a forsaken people, wishing merely to be safe in their own homes, in their own state, in their ancestral place. I watch PBS NewsHour, so I actually see some of this, but when I've watched other networks, not much of this is reported. So the next one I picked because it seemed appropriate for the weather today, and this is written on a day that was like today, which is quite cool. Yeah. It's called No Gain. So where did the beauty abscond? How has it now all come down to mere survival? Why do dreams seem so absurd? Is this the secret meaning of growing old? The sky turned blue from cold, sucks heat from the stacked up caves below. Ivy grips the wall outside against the freezing blow. This world is no place for an isolated soul. Only the collective can endure these unkind days. Ironic then that human greed and individualism, we call it capitalism, is crowned king in this age. Belying the chill, fulgent sun brightens all, in false hope, a cruel joke, like the hoax of overarching clouds that gently drape and disperse, convoke, dissolve, and dissipate. I can still hide away in the base, but less often, less deep, and less safe. I can still exercise with the ink, but less well, less sure, and with less grace. There is no true escape. I can only wait for consciousness to slink away in fatigue and failure. Surrender to the void freely to end the pain. Give up the fight finally, completely, eternally. Bright day, black night, no gain. I'll try to end on a little higher note. This is called Summer of Life, and I remember exactly how I wrote this. I was at a karate class. I came out, and next door was a coffee house. This guy goes, "Hey, Klaus, are you going to come read at the poetry reading here?" And I said, "I didn't know there was one. I got to go home and shower. I'll come back." So on the way home, I'm driving, and I'm thinking of this poem that I'm going to write. And then I'm showering and finishing it, and then I wrote it down, went back, read it, stuck it up on the bulletin board, and left. And then about 2 hours later, I'm like, I don't have a copy of that poem. I have to go. But I thought it would be fun to just go in, read it, and leave, right? So anyway, the other thing about this is it was called Summer of Love, I thought, the whole time I wrote it.
Was that a poem?
It's a poem. No, that wasn't a poem. That was a story. That was a preface to a poem. And so I thought it was called Summer of Love after I wrote it, and I went to go read it, but I'd written Summer of Life, and that's actually more appropriate. On behalf of us all, I declare this the summer of love. I declare this the summer of dreams, the summer when everyone is an artist and a poet, the summer when rocks and policemen, IRS agents, and school principals truly love, the summer when I love 10 women at once, the summer when I love a man like a woman, the summer I love my father and mother for the first time since I was 3, the summer I get arrested for driving 95 miles an hour in a 35 zone, roll my car, and walk away without a scratch. The summer the cops are my constant companions and I spend more time in jail than in coffee houses. The summer everyone is a musician and a star. The summer of Nirvana, Aquarius, Democracy, Mr. Rogers, and Dr. Seuss. The endless summer of my life and yours. The summer that is packed into the now that is always. The summer that is under all winters, mixed with all springs, and joined at the hip with all autumns. The summer I love myself for the first time ever. The summer everyone tunes in, turns on, drops out, and grows an inch. I declare this the summer of instant poetry, poetry that is created only by whomever reads or hears it, and only at the moment it is read or heard. Poetry whose content is more important than its form. Poetry whose meaning is more important than its words. Poetry that has nothing to do with words, in a summer in which life has nothing to do with words. I declare this the summer when no one will stop laughing except to smile, when no one will stop dreaming except to sleep. The summer of no watches because there is no time but now. The summer of no wallets because everything of value is free. The summer children rule the world. The summer men become women and women men. The summer during which no one wears underwear. The summer I'll do whatever anyone asks of me if I am able. The summer of pure feeling, and the summer in which everything has meaning. I declare this the summer when, starting here with us, war stops. All war, including gossip, jealousy, fear, and lack of self-esteem. I declare this the summer no one needs to sleep. The summer all work is done on flex time. The summer daydreaming is not interrupted by tedious tasks. The summer is hot but not humid. The summer I honor all that is alive. The summer when I run naked through the streets. I declare this the summer of good health, good hopes, and goodwill. The summer of new and lasting friendships and the celebration of old friends. The summer in which we are all gods, that is, we are all pure love. The summer the egos hitchhike out of town. The summer the muse runs amok. The summer all politicians resign. I declare this the summer of love. I declare this the summer of now. The eternal summer, the mythical summer, the singular summer, the summer we will always remember. On behalf of us all, I declare this the summer of love, the summer that starts now and lasts forever.
How long was that shower?
I know. How did you remember it all?
I don't know. I kept bringing it back to myself.
Good for you. Awesome. So but I've done that and then I've forgotten. I can't. Once I get this idea, it's gone. Once it's gone. We have Nikki, then Caleb, then it's after, not yet. You're the third one. So we're gonna do Nikki, and then Caleb, and then. She's gonna go first.
Hello, I'm Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
I got just 3 poems this evening. Nikki Rettman. My poetry can be found on my website, along with other projects that I'm working on. Website's nsrpoetrywrite.com, right as in to write a poem. First one I'm going to share with you tonight is With Love. Frustration tangled up with love. Impatience and misunderstanding with love. Lack of understanding or thought with love. Love comes through all, bears all with love. Impatience turns to patience with love. Frustration turns to focus with love. Compassion and thought burn brighter with love. So I wrote this one during Christmas. It's titled Peaceful Joy. I always like to play with words. Separate out things like forest and forest. Peaceful. There's peaceful joy. Your joy comes home to us this season, seeps in and flows through our gatherings with deep affection. Love, too, makes a show. From old family, new friends we greet. Listening, getting to know them better. Put aside those petty differences, let love lead. Hope will grip you with encouragement to move, carry you through, enable you to rise above. Peace, shalom, fill you to overflowing in this day, this festive season true, to guide you on your way. Joy to laugh and to live. Love to inspire and create full life. Hope, let it move you forward. Peace, shalom, bring you back. Envelope you in that intense wholeness, that unexplainable peace, full wholeness. This is a little bit longer one. It's kind of an epic poem, but not as long as most epic poems. It's titled Frigid Journey to Warm. The cold grew within her. As her feet crunched in the snow, her steps were heavy and measured with the burden she carried. Cold wind continued to blow her on her way. To where? She didn't know, but knew she had to go. She climbed up the rocky mountain pass, a determined goat. She saw the cliff before her, and it sent a chill up her spine. Persistent cold stuck in her throat, numbing her thoughts and limbs. Her fear, creosote undercoat. Reaching the pinnacle to turn and look, a shock of rock and a snowy sea, a welcoming shelter, as welcoming as rock can be. Drew her in, there to behold. An ember glowing boldly. What? How? She wondered. The warmth was such as love or whiskey warms the inside. She wondered, the ember, and gazed. Through a natural rock open skylight, observing the starry night, Aurora Borealis flashed across, dancing through the deep, dark night to light. This world is so beautiful, even when it's unpredictable and so. And she prayed to a God she'd never known. He whispered in her ear, She felt the warmth grow in brilliance, reset in the presence, an unimaginable, unexplainable peace. Her fear melted away. There was love and release, and more, so much more. Lest we held in peace of the one and the light. As the bright morning star shone across the unending horizon, she rose and descended, her resolve renewed, enlightened. From his whispers, she knew no venture to wander among those forgotten, where his grace is unknown.
You can raise it if you'd like. A series of.
This one is named after my old pair of glasses, Ray-Ban Giorgio Arista silver frame. My glasses broke, and for a week I've been wearing shades, hiding my eyes, my thoughts, my view, 70% tip. I find my old glasses. I could tell you the last time I wore them. The dried paint from junior year's Halloween event remained on the nose guards. I caught myself in the eyes deeply, tranced at who I was. I saw someone who looked at the world differently, but not through the lenses, but the frames. There's history in these frames. I went to college in these frames. I met my best friend in these frames. I got COVID in these frames. I smiled in every picture in these frames. I see myself and I see a person who wasn't healed yet. I hid behind large circles to disguise a lack of what I thought I wasn't. But with these frames, things slowly changed. I was content in these frames, and my vision began to change, and slowly lens and viewpoint altered. I can't see clearly through these frames because this isn't who I am anymore. Up close it's clear that even a short distance leaves me unsure. My long term isn't satisfied with my old eyes. I don't want to be surprised when what's in the distance changes, but I was blind because everything that was close looked fine. I used to be. Or these frames used to be me. But I am no longer that guy. This one is a pair poem, but you only get one half for the foreseeable future. The world could use more rain. How tempered we are to be sure. Quick dial and no one knows my number no more. Dry skin, leather, waterproof we carry on our backs. The cool mist provides no remedy for what we lack. The world could use more rain. Nature's television. Watch trickle after trickle and consume what's been missing. A thorough washing of our senses, through our senses, of our sins, till we can see things clearly, see us whole again. Dehydrated I am, wash me deeply. Let my tears coincide with the cries of the earth. I see and feel that we've both been in pain since our birth. I need replenishing, a free wash that won't affect my bill, and another for when I'm clean and can simply remain still. Find the rhythm in the droplets. The world could use more rain. I've always wanted to dance with it. If only I had a hand to hold. And, this one's a little lengthy. We don't know what true love is. We neither know how to love or to be loved. If we did, we wouldn't shake our fist at it, swear and spit in its face because we don't know what perfect love is. I question my goodness because I know I am not. But who am I to question perfection when I know I am not? Behold the mirror of perfection to perfection, its reflection has no blemish, but our standard for perfection needs correction when we judge by the creation of our own flawed hands. Who am I to think I'm the prize? By our standards, you're surprised I've stuck by your side after you've pierced mine. What do I know about true love? Nothing. I can't comprehend. I get anxious when my text is left unread. What do I know about love? Nothing. Not even a speck. They pretend to like you if your name has a digital check. What do I know about love? Nothing. But I know it loves me back when I didn't do it first. Or when I turned my back, when I knew better but couldn't blame the knowledge I lacked. Love needs not my acknowledgement to exist into the fame, because our brains confuse our pride for shame is a lame excuse to not acknowledge that you know the same. That we don't know, we can't fathom, we can't call on the love and the name at all. But we've done a good job hating, spending no time at all to rush into debating that true love never existed. The only love we mention is twisted, falling short of the true love that's always persistent. It's pursuing you in case you've missed it. Calling your name if you pay enough attention to hear it. Deeper than the flesh, it's a light ringing in your spirit. True love knocks at the heart, but we pretend we don't feel it. Cupid's bow is broken and the arrow no longer flies straight. Our way of love is token and the best we do is provide hate. We say we know where we're going and constantly deny fate, but I face with no fear to speak words you now hear, truly free and sincere to inform true love's you. But we don't know no better. It won't get better. I've read the last book and seen the last letter. You don't know what perfect love is. Perhaps I'm at fault, knowing what I've been taught. I don't equally convey the action I've been taught by love. I haven't opened up my heart like love. I haven't given you my time like love. I haven't shown you that I care like love. I haven't explained myself at all like love. I turned my back each time I was hurt, unlike love. I hid my face every time I cried, unlike love. I lost my patience working here with you, unlike love. And I should know better. Know what to do just like love. If love so loved, you loved us all to spare for me my life. The love I love has caused a change, so I don't fear my life. And if we all knew love so true, who really knows what love for do? For love so loved, you loved us all and died for me and you. You can.
That was amazing. So, you guys, right? And then after that will be CK and then Steve.
Can you hear me? You may call me Nima. I have an accent, like anybody else. I have culture, like anyone else. But what I don't have is right, the second right, R-I-G-H-T. I was not brought up, I was not raised with that. And I have a few books. I have published many books. This is the only one in English. It's available through me or online. I'm not allowed to do anything in my own time. Mr. Perfect is a perfect supervisor and the lousiest worker. My fault. I married him. I had choices. I could run away or I could commit suicide. I wish I had run away with my prince, only if I could trust him. India is producing movies like Blah Blah Blah, which clearly depict that Indian parents do not want to have anything to do with a daughter, especially who is not happily married. They are afraid it would bring bad name to the family. Now I would read another. Another anecdote, a walk from NC State University to my home. I'm having a little difficulty with light.
Yeah, there's that little light right there.
Yeah, I'm sure this helps. But no, this doesn't help. We'll see.
We'll turn the lights up.
Okay, we attend Diwali night. Diwali means a festival of lights in India. We attend Diwali night at NC State University. On the way out, I'm freezing. The last 2 days were warm. I'm not sufficiently dressed for the sudden drop in the temperature. My dear hubby had no courtesy to bring the car to the door. I'm not used to that kind of service from him anyway. Once we walked to the car, I asked him to turn the heat on. In response, he turns on the air conditioning, telling me that it is my fault if I did not bring a jacket. He proposes that I close the vents on my side. With my arthritis, myositis, and fasciitis, I'm hurting. In his car, there is room for only one eye, and that is him. I mentioned that he is not cold because he is wearing his suit. As a special consideration, he stops the car, takes his jacket off, loosens his tie, lowers the window down, and gets back to driving. I thought that he would offer his jacket to me, but he sits on it. There's no use asking him for it. It all becomes so unbearable that walking home 10 miles on foot seems easier to me. I get out of the car. As I walk, why am I not able to view this happening in proper perspective and run for my life? Why am I walking stealthily toward a home which is not mine? It does not belong to me even though I designed it. It does not belong to me even when I decorated it. It does not belong to me even when I maintain it. I sit down by the clock tower. How many of you know clock tower at NC State University? I sit down by the clock tower and pray for my prince to show up and hold me for once. He always brightened my gloomy evenings at Rosa, in my hometown. I grew up in protection and got married into domestication. He chose me. I'm a loyal pet. My thoughts return to Prince. His sweet memory gives me strength to start inching my way. Anger and frustration are my motivations. It is a dangerous area, well patrolled by drunkards. Anyway, it is better to die from a stranger's wound than from a loved man's sting. Loved one's sting. One drunk staggers his way toward me. I become hopeful. I need warmth. His breathing is heavy. I perceive lust in his looks. He passes me. He walks fast in his drunkenness, leaving me behind in my sobriety. I lean on a light pole. It is as dead as hubby. Hubby means husband. I do not know what gratification is, but I like those distant stars that keep me company. They are burning gases, but they stay at a comfortable distance to show hope in a hopeless situation. Either hubby leads his own life or he demands sex. Isn't this prostitution within marriage with no remuneration? Just a few more sentences. My dear hubby has me on his side. I walk alone. I prove that I can walk miles by myself in the dark. But prove to whom? Am I ready to walk by myself in the daylight alone? When I reach home, tired and sleepy, I drop on my bed. Still I cannot sleep, with hubby snoring with a lion's roar. I turn some music on that wakes him up while I pretend to be asleep. He asked me repeatedly if he could help me and if I'm okay. After hearing this for 3 times, I shout at him, yes, I'm okay. Now go kill yourself or get lost. I say this, but I'm mortified. God knows if I am safe around him anymore. As he goes out of the bed, he moves to the other bedroom. In God's books, today was not the day of my departure.
Just not poetry, but prose. So thank you for bringing that with us. It really brings, and it brings a different level to the thing. So we have CK's next, and then Steve, and then Ezekeil.
Thank you so much, Debbie. That was wonderful. I don't know if I'm safe around him anymore. What a great line. My name is CK. I'm a poet. I have a book called The Floor of a Bathroom, and I'm not going to read anything from that book because I was doing it for like a year, and I kind of want to read some new stuff, so I'm going to do that. And this is one that I wrote it actually really shortly after my book came out, which was late 2023, and it's one I've been thinking about a lot lately. It's about if you've ever been in a relationship or you've seen your friend be in a relationship where you're like, I don't think he likes you that much. That is what this is about. Because we all want to be loved more than we want to be on our own, so we'll settle for the idea of it over the unknown. The devil, is supposed to be safer, but then why does he look at her like he fucking hates her? She's writing invitations, she's trying on dresses, she's walking on eggshells, avoiding his dresses, she's trying on dresses, she's writing invitations, she's wondering what we're all thinking, but nobody's saying. She makes a joke, he rolls his eyes, he does not choose her. She chooses to be kind. She's begging a grown man to just kind of try and put in some effort, making herself real life, breathing, buried treasure, and she lights up her room. She's always been your shoulder. You always kind of expected she'd be a little bolder. He's dimming her sparkle. He's rusted her shine. He's made me now call her an old friend of mine. Her name belongs on billboards and in posters and in lights, and he's pulling her in closer just to pick fucking fights. And you want to take her by the hair and hold her nose to the mirror until she starts to understand that you cannot place your self-esteem into the palm of a man's hand. She says he makes her happy, that they're going to build a beautiful life. He says it's one he feels trapped in. Jokes about a happy wife. And she hangs on his arm at the bar while he makes friends at her expense, only to relive it with children a few years later, a Groundhog Day. How much he hates her. He would have played in college. He would have met someone hotter. He would have had someone give him sons and not daughters. He would have gotten that boat and earned that quarterly raise. He would have no target to bear the force of his self-hate. He'd have to give it to himself instead of taking it from her. He'd have to come to terms with his own self-worth, but his hands would come up empty. So instead, he has what belongs to our girl. He's committing petty theft, and she was going to change the world. And then maybe I will do one from my book if I have time to do one.
Go ahead.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, you can do 3.
This is one I do all the time, but I performed for the first time in a long time recently, and it is about loving somebody who needs to get sober, and kind of accepting the end of that relationship. And this one is in my book. which again is called The Floor of a Bathroom. And you can find me online at ck.poet on most social media. I'm mainly on TikTok, which is a little scary these days because I think it's going away, but I'm also on Instagram, and my website is ckpoet.com. This one is called Last October. I've been thinking a lot about last October, and I kind of hope you never get sober. You were showing up drunk, but you were showing up, and that's more than I can say for any other month. And in January, I'll wonder if you're going to do it dry every fucking year. You'd say you were going to try. It was always preceded by nights in December that you couldn't remember. 10 missed calls, 4 a.m. Swear to me it won't happen again. And in September, I read you that letter, and I begged you to get help, the closest to helpless I'd ever really felt. But for some reason, by October, you started to remember why we even liked spending time together. And March was the first time I saw you get high. I watched you take my keys to the counter and make 2 neat lines. You grabbed my waist with your arms and you pulled me in close, and you asked if I knew what you loved about me the most. And when I told you I didn't, you shook your head and you said, I don't try to control you like your friends' girlfriends did. And you encouraged me to reach out to my cousin in May to hear him out on what he had to say, that being family was more important than any fight we had before, and to hold a grudge against him was being immature, and having him over for dinner wasn't what I had in mind, but you regained access to the pills he had always been prescribed. And it took 2 minutes for you to take one after he left. I watched it travel down your neck and work through your chest, and we forgot about dinner and played video games for hours before you took off my clothes, and we got in the shower, and we stood in the path of the steaming hot water, and you looked at my eyes, and you told me you wanted me to make you a father. And by that point, the clock on the stove was blinking 6 a.m., the night energy being broken by the sun coming in, and you were turning out pockets of the coats we had wore where you swore you put the other pills you bought the week before, and the closer you got to the end of your high, the more we fought. So even though I know it's a fucked up thought, I kind of hope you never get sober. Because now we're in another October, and I think a lot about the girl who you'll love after me. How I truly hope she's getting to experience you clean. Mostly because I want to keep those good parts just for me. She'll be spared the drama and the constant beer. She'll never have to clean up next day beer. She'll get farmers markets and baby showers. She won't be up wondering where you are at all hours. She'll get dabbed by the grill, not worried about bills. You when you are sober. And she's never going to feel a love like I did that October. Thank you, Gal.
That's awesome. Thank you. So, yeah, Steve next, and then Ezekeil, and then Adria? Did you sign it? If you need light or anything, Steve.
I think I'll be okay.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah, is everybody doing good? Comfortable with the heat or everything?
Thanks, Nikki. First, thank you for having the courage to let me come up here again, Debbie. But more importantly, your ongoing support of
Thank you.
The written and spoken word. You've heard this from me before, some of you that may have seen me. I'm always a little bit nervous. I'm actually a little prepared tonight with little themes of what I'm sharing. However, this is what I've said before. This always happens to me, be it Sam or someone else. CK is here tonight.
Yeah.
Like, why do I always have to
follow her?
All the profound folks. And to be fully transparent and to get a little momentum before I start launching into this, CK's book about the floor of a bathroom is actually at my house on top of my refrigerator, because when I met her and listened to her speak, and I recognized October immediately, I've been telling my neighbor Bob about it, and it's part of the reason he showed up, because I said nice things, but you're really gifted, and I'm trying to be like you and other people, Caleb and others that are here, so thanks for bearing with me. There's a theme, adventure. I'm not going to get into too much detail, but the 3 things that I'm going to share with you momentarily. The first one was really a turning point in my life that was very, very critical, and you'll figure the importance with my last words of the first item called advice. The second one is coming out of a recent adventure I had, and I put myself out there like I did in 2022 when I wrote advice. Bob, who you heard from earlier, he's epic. He helped me with, he did a photo shoot when I was surfing off the coast of Venezuela. To be fully transparent, I ate a lot of sand and I didn't do very well. But through the whole course of that week, had a lot of fun.
It was really enjoyable to be out in the middle of the ocean in some solitude. The young lady that was talking about the road, I didn't know if that was a private road or a family road, but I was reminded of your solitude, and I appreciate your particular words. So I'm going to go ahead and stop being nervous and talking a lot and get into it. Okay, how's that?
Shake it out. Shake it out.
This is called advice, and I'm kind of talking to myself. I won't get into all the details of what I was doing in Florida that involved sharks and swimming 10 miles at sea without a life preserver, and I don't have a boating license and living on a boat for like 2 days, 16 miles at sea. But I learned some valuable lessons about myself, and I found some courage that I thought was absent. Advice. So, what would they say if you were remembered after you were gone? Well, it was funny, nice, entertaining, thoughtful, adventurous. However, I'm not consumed with what others should say for me. Let them speak from within, from their heart. Nor do I want certain words, adjectives to be shared, for I follow a melody, my hymn, my song, the song this soul sings. If I were to reach out, I'd offer these words to dispense and give. Oh, I don't want to die, but I am not afraid of death. I am afraid not to live. We're on a roll now, look out. This is stemming from looking out over the Atlantic, some solitude, listening to the ocean, eyes closed, just trying to be one with nature and have some awakenings and peace. And above all, looking within again. It's called the Wayward. Looking east across the Atlantic, miles plus miles from the shore, I am pulled up and out of the focus, which holds my stare. No Chianti adorns the fullness of your lips that hang as art when you share the subtlest of smiles. I look to the heavens benign and know it's true, and what's more to do. Alas, I shall dare. I feel the beckon, you open the door. Your voice is gentle as the soft winds that carry the unspoken words this very way. Ah, the words were clear, quite vivid, in speaking to the essence of me in a different language. I could not read your faint light eyes, though they indeed transported me to a better place. I wanted to open that door, the door to get through to you. I've lost my way along this path, don't know how to share nor shape the pleasant turmoil with connections coursing through unclear thoughts, wanting to find daylight, hallowed be the fight. These minutes move slowly as if a lifetime, holding on to eternal youth and the ambitions I did share. So it is now, a moment, the gratitude within. Namaste and many thanks for your gift and the protracted residual, how I am alive. By chance, does anyone here speak Spanish?
I know, praise. Uno cerveza, por favor.
Taco.
Well, this may require a little patience. I think Sam would be proud of me. This is maybe a little longer than things I normally read. It's not like Caleb, it's not epic. Not like Nikki, epic. I'm going to read this to you and give it a shot in Spanish. I'd like to share that other than writing a book, I had a number of things on my bucket list to do in my life, which subsequently been completed. This was done several years ago, simply walking downtown Raleigh. I wanted to write a poem in Spanish when I was living in Houston, and I added that to my list. So here it is. I'm going to read, it's about 2 pages. It's called La Esperanza. La Esperanza. Compartiendo la acera por el camino. Tú has visto donde una distancia. Pero, como tú, muy difícil no verla. Y donde esa longitud veo con todo etiar. Tú estás como la playa, con la cama ofreció, complaciendo al ojo sereno. Lo es para tales razones que tengo esperanza. Lo es mi esperanza de captar un momento en el tiempo, en un momento que tú posees, un momento para ti, así y confesional humilde, y caminando una estrella para ti en el cielo benigno, lo brilla brillantemente el resplandor mío. Ay, podemos desear sobre su estrella y espero lo es ahora comprendido. Usted lo hace fácil de sonar. La esperanza, the hope. Sharing the sidewalk along the way, you are seen from a distance. But oh, how you are harmless. And from that length, I see in detail, you are like the beach, with calmness offered, pleasing to the eye, serene. So it is for such reasons that I have hope. It is my hope to capture a moment in time, a moment that you own, a moment for you. Thus, my humble confession, I have named a star for you. In heaven's benign, it shines bright, radiance, find. Alas, we wish upon your star, and I hope it is now understood you make it easy to dream.
He's always been one of my big supporters of it. We started like in 2021 at what did I say, Larry's Coffee, and Steve was one of our first ones. CK was there, originally one of our original ones. So it's so nice to see. Really appreciate this. This is something that's just kind of, happened. I just bring the microphone, kind of thing. So it's you guys that are here and supporting all this that makes it happen. So thank you. So let me know anything that makes you more comfortable. We'll keep going. We have this room for as long as we want to. So as long as you guys are happy, we have about maybe five more poets to do. We have Ezekeil and Anita, Adria, then Anita, then the poet, and then Gia. So did I miss anybody that hasn't came in that want to sign up and stuff? Cool. Right, so we will go with Ezekeil.
Hello, I'm Ezekeil. I write poems sometimes. Sometimes I don't. We'll start off. It's really unfortunate because I have two poems that have very lengthy titles today, and that feels terrible to me. But it's okay. We're going to start off with this one. I wrote this one 3 days ago. 3 days ago. Very recent. And I'm going to read one from the day as well. Isn't that fun?
Did you do it in the shower too, like this?
This is I'll start with this one. This is CEO's confession to grave offenses against humanity. Big businessmen in their big business suits make big business decisions in their big business boots. Big businessmen in their big business hats make big business tax exempt forms for their big business cats. Big businessmen in their big business caves melt big business glaciers that sink big business houses. With happy families no one can save. Everyone is sent to their big business graves. Back in my day, we called that the big business way. Thank you. So that one's fun. This one is also an entirely convoluted title. Hope you enjoy that. This is lunch with the overwhelming feeling that it's all over, but that you don't have the guts to end it. Lunch today is despair, a juice box, and loose meat and cheese. It's easy to eat loose ham and provolone with despair. It's simple. You've probably run out of bread before, and you've probably run out of the energy to go get bread before. I've never drunk a juice box with despair. It's new. It's a kind of last-ditch medical attention you attempt to apply midday like a tourniquet. Kind of thing you try when the mental lobotomy you've been performing on yourself all morning fails to show any results. The kind of thing you try when the master surgeon in your brain with his tiny scrubs and his tiny mask and his tiny gloves demands 20 cc's of 100% juice fruit punch. The kind of thing where you have to explain to your mind's medical board that his methods are a little questionable and that juice box did jack shit. Thank you. This one's maybe less silly, I don't know. It's maybe not as sad as well. So I wrote this, I was considering the fact that I wrote this quite a bit ago, I guess about a year ago on the date. And I was considering how far I'd grown as a person. And then I got like really emotional about the fact that we all keep doing that. Anyways, this is who we are and where we'll go. I was once another, that which was everything, every man. But I am becoming myself, and that I'm unbecoming him. Pain and hopelessness have served so many, but I am becoming specific with my specific love and my specific pain, a heart eroded in such specific ways by the beating waves of those who have loved me well. Their love now fits so perfectly along my shores, and it is different than yours. And now, other hearts, and by that I mean your hearts, our hearts, no longer Pangea together the way they did when we were young and everything. Now we have specific shores with specific love and specific pain, hearts eroded in such specific ways by the beating waves of those who have loved us well. And this has become our new love, our new universal, so that we might still relate. To see the shores of another and understand the great lengths of time which it takes to be loved and hurt in such ways, to love the eroded heart, not because of outcome, but process. In process, we have grown beautiful. And when I visit your shores with my waves, I will say, what stunning hills and valleys, milk and honey. For we have not become so specific that those most universal aches of human life have slipped between the grains of our heart. It is hard not to love those who have become the way that they are. Thank you.
Adria, yes. Said that right. Good. Pronouncing people's names.
Hi, my name's Adria. The first two poems I'm going to read are about a breakup from about a year and a half ago. The first one's called Goodbye Apollo. I'm sitting on the red couch, staring at his blurry visage, muddled by tears. Is that better? Okay. Is that?
Yeah.
Sweet. Thank you. I'm sitting on the red couch, staring at his blurry visage, muddled by tears. His words were like nuclear bomb of internal collapse, causing shards of my heart to scatter across the floor. I see his mouth moving, but I hear nothing that he says. My ears are still ringing as my eyes readjust to relational nuclear fallout. When thinking of myself from an outside perspective, I imagine myself as the Polish drunk, stumbling up the stairs to the Temple of Apollo, praying, pleading for our faith in each other to be fruitful, begging for Apollo to dislodge the arrow that he shot into my heart, plaguing me with its constant ache. I was in denial that the temple we built was as secure as the blanket forts we would fall asleep under, and with the weight of arguments on top of us, we collapsed. He says he's leaving, and as the door slams, my knees collide with the carpet. I feel the fallen shards bite into them, similarly to how you did my flesh last night, leaving dark purples and blues that would linger for the next 2 weeks. I used to cherish each mark as a reminder that I belonged to you, a reminder that regardless of where we were, there was a piece of you with me. But seeing them remain long after our collapse made me feel as though you still had ownership of my body. I avoided them. I tried not to change, to shower. But whenever I saw my reflection, it was as if my heart started pounding his words deeper into each bruise. I don't love you. I don't love you. And that was the first one. The second poem is when he reached out to me 6 months later, and it's called Response to My Ex. I used to melt into his body like it was memory foam. Walls of skin forging security as I sank deeper. A home that was never lost, but I thought that I had finally found. Seeing his name appear on my screen for the first time in months, I'm automatically pulled back into the land of dreams, sinking into the familiar comfort of its cold embrace, its promised escape. The tapestries spreading themselves thin, the walls softening, stretching, colors becoming intertwined, and my body that was anchored to my bed falls back into the past. Numbness fills my limbs, and I'm heavy enough to be immobile, yet light enough to float above the room. Twinkling stars distort my surroundings, their beams floating off other objects around me as miniature clouds appear throughout my line of vision. I begin to feel them on each inhale, chalky, chasing my breath, my esophagus caught in eyes determined to reach you in this distant memory which my body demands be revived despite rest and burial. The words fall from your mouth, and everything is in slow motion. Shoulders angled away, body closed, icicle eyes, cold, calm, calculated caring, determined to escape, lingering only to reinforce the gravity of your words, or energy stale, suffocating. My phone rings, and my environment reshapes into its reality. 6 months have gone since he closed our book, and 40 minutes have passed since my apartment became an abstract expressionist painting of our breakup scene. I open his message again after taking a shower to clear my head, and I imagine myself scrubbing suds off skin as if doing so can erase the traces of him that linger, hoping that I can wash myself of our history. But I'm still numb. I've reread the text for hours since he sent it, my thoughts sloppily bleeding onto ancient paper, ink blots and blurred words that crave articulation, fear perception, and cannot risk being ignored again. And the last one is about love. It's called Finally I See Home. You've always lived within me, etched into the cavities of my lungs, forcing breath and life into empty eyes when my mirror was more often mirage distorted by the dust that I allowed to accumulate, hide you, to bury you, to erase you. It's been 1 year of weekly ritual, shower, syringe, and subcutaneous shot. Just 2 months ago, I recognized you, us, in a photo for the first time. Joy spread through my body like electricity, fingertips tingling from the shock. I close my eyes and take a deep breath and count to 10. I need to make sure this is real. When I open my eyes, you don't leave the glass, and I feel like it's time. My shaking hands wipe away decades of dust. Glass reveals someone becoming known. I feel like they've stolen my breath. Over a quarter of my life, and finally, I see home. Thank you.
So we have 3 more poets. Usually we can stick around and do a second round, but I think this group it's been great, and we could just stick around and chat with each other. So I've got Anita, who's another one that's been coming quite regularly, and then you'll be next, and then you. You can stay forever. You can stay forever.
Can you hear me?
Do you need to push down, pull down? There you go.
Better?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read something called Pooled Tear. It's about going to the cab and seeing a photographer's piece of art that just stirred me. So, Pooled Tear. Pooled tear at the bottom of eyelid, eyes glossy clear. In her eye, I see me reflected, her gaze unwavering. What happened? Dreams smeared paint, made by steady hand. Words fresh as spring, music clear as breath. Nothing, bound by others' vices, expectations, torn within, each breath drowned, reaching the surface. Only hands held close, always finding each other, clasped like bars of the prison cell, cold self. Hunched shoulders close to the ears, arched back braced for the fall, no call, lost signal. Mind numb, humming static, sharp, jagged fear. Her eye caught me, composed and silent, raging torment made mute, lost daughter. My dreams drowned before the shore stabbed in embraces of others. Help me. Eye of wonder, eye of truth, infinite youth, you see me. Shattered together, screaming breathless, pleas on broken knees. Oh child, help me. Please rip the mask that gags me, molded to skin, pumped with blood, formed by it, born not mine. There's another part. Alas, you see me. I see within the face of a child hailed breathing, frozen in the arms of her mother, looking at me cold, in white, never flinching. This one is called Be Still Me There. It's about being at home with my mom. Be still me there, in the warmth of fluffy sweaters wrapped around weary shoulders, held together by the whispers, hollow and empty, of a brazen world. Be still me in the length of the embrace, once reminding me I'm home, twice reminding me I'm here. Be still, the echo of her voice rings with her eyes, here she holds. Space for infinite wonders, for unheard cries, for broken wounds, for real love. Be still me in my mother's arms. The magic held within lights infinite worlds. Time blends, past and present, meet between her shoulder blades. There, her blades trim, my mind quiet, still, a pond with no ripple. Be still me, where my mind eases, where time stops, where she is waiting for me to cease, to release, at peace. Be still me here. Static. The sun is out, beautiful, boundless, cupped by fluffy orbs of white, clouds so juicy you could pick them. I stop, each hanging on a thread so faint I could fall over, topple. Down murky static, the scars that scars the green grass, so lush, are you dreaming? The wind is slight, rustling leaves still on branches. I feign joy, static louder. Brother, it whispers, lying frozen in a green casket, pale and decaying, living thread cut short. Is it true? Static breaks, his laughter ringing, loud in ears, tears form, stock not seen but heartfelt. The sun beams too bright, too sick, you waver. A lone crow breaks the scene, caw, it sings. The leaves rustle again, a child plays, static recedes, I proceed. Down onto the grass, too green, too moist, too real. Are you dreaming? Is he really gone?
I'll let you introduce yourself. Yeah.
1, 2, 1, 2. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right. My name is VaChikepe the poet. VaChikepe, it might mean captain of the big ship. So I'm from Zimbabwe. I'm based in Chapel Hill. This year I just said to myself, I'm going to spoil myself by moving and going wherever poetry is. So I've been to Charlotte, I've been to High Point, and this is my first time to perform poetry in Raleigh. Cheers, and it's a great joy being with poets. So the poem that I'm going to read today is called, I'm going to read 2 poems. I'm going to start with a poem entitled Thoughts Revisited. So the day I went to Charlotte, I wrote a beautiful poem by the name Thoughts. I specialize in writing and reading, and I forgot the book. And I realized when I was at Charlotte that I forgot the poem Thoughts. So I wrote very fast, Thoughts Revisited. So this is Thoughts Revisited. After I read this one, then I'll read the original poem that I forgot. I hope you enjoy. Thoughts. Our thoughts are nothing. They evaporate like water. They are an illusion. They are made only to nourish ourselves. It is a miracle to share them. How can you tell someone what you feel without telling them what you feel? These thoughts are a scam. There is something unknown about them. These thoughts, these thoughts, these thoughts, these thoughts. These thoughts are a fraud. How can we stay with them forever? If they are meant to be, how come we don't know their being? How come we don't always think of the same thing every time? Do we? Feel them. Feel your thoughts suffocating inside you. Thoughts chained. Thoughts forgetting their memory. Thoughts disabled. Thoughts unable, dead. Thoughts unable, dead. Dead thoughts. Thoughts paralyzed. Thoughts deadalized. Free yourself from mental slavery. There is something more to us than our thoughts. God, reveal yourself through us. Effortless meditations, a life unknown, an unknown living. We can do better than aliens and robots. We can do more than is supernatural. We are the best we became. Thank you. And the last poem is the original Thoughts. And it's called Thoughts. It all starts with thoughts, silent leaders of our being, bricklayers of destiny and sin, creating ways in the depth of our minds. Pay attention to these whispers that shape your days, to these voices that sculpt your dreams, and to these storms that roar within the chambers of your heart. Know these thoughts, for they are not mere shadows passing, but rivers of life sharing life to the living, mountains giving birth to heavens unseen. Discern them, discern these thoughts, good thoughts. Like seeds, they give us everlasting life. But beware, I tell you, beware of the weeds, suppressed thoughts, broken and brittle, oppressed thoughts, caged and silenced. Beware of the wind, I say, beware. Slow thoughts, crawling like the slowest crawler, repressed thoughts, shocked by fear, confused thoughts, spinning in void, each crying for freedom, each craving for light. Listen to your thoughts, not to every echo of the wind from strange thoughts, but to the melody of wisdom that comes from within, the drumbeat of clarity and guidance. Listen to your thoughts. A bright future stronger than all your fears. A way in the desert where no path was. Milk and honey flowing towards you. A full emancipation of your spirit, domesticated by the full syllabus of knowledge and saturated by full understanding. Listen to your thoughts today. Listen to your thoughts this month. Listen to your thoughts this year. And listen to your thoughts all the days of your life. Because your thoughts hold the keys to who you were meant to be and what you are. Your thoughts are your light to your becoming, because the whole world is waiting for you and your soul to be feasted on. No to mental slavery, Bob Marley denied, because your thoughts are the freedom of your soul. Set your soul free until you know your spirit. Set your soul free until you know yourself. Behind your soul, your reality awaits. Behind your soul, that is where you live. And we say no to prisons of our souls. Souls in our minds, in our thoughts, Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi. My name is G. Rosa.
Ditto.
I'm going to read two poems I've never performed before.
Yay!
Deciding to be very brief.
And we made you last. So it's good to bring it all together. Awesome. Love it.
So this one is called Your Love is Weeping and Your Love is Hungry. Is there something inside for you? Is there something inside of the pull out by the sinews? Is of the fragrant, oiled, and young? The methods of your extraction are becoming frantic. The believed in words like God and told others of the hidden wealth glinting through the cracked teeth of your rotting mouth. The by nature's design fails to see you as disgusting, and so by nature's design fails. Fails. I have not been squeezed to pop yet, and I am sure that, and you and I are, and what I meant to say was, and I can see it falling now, the anticipation is my killer, for the cold pool water and my nurse's needle bring me to syncope. There is something in there that you love that will come out. You think it will come out of my mouth, my nose, my ears, my eyes? You know that I see beauty in blood, and you covet the light through my pupils. One day may you steal it, eat it, see it, the beauty of my blood. And there will be no one to tell of this beauty, because I will be blood and you alone. And then I felt this one was appropriate because it's about being scared of ending. And I feel like it's like the last one of the night. Anyway. I have been powerless for a long time. And I think that this poem was a reflection of just how awful that felt. And now I'm not in that place anymore. And I'm here. Okay. So, this one is called G Remains G. Waiting had always meant waiting for harm, and that is why I am impatient and now run towards it. Kill me if you are going to kill me, or I will do it myself. We may reflect in the aftermath. I want my audience to know that I have been robbed of neutral anticipation. Impatient is the word commonly used to describe a person robbed of this experience. To wait meant to cease, and I wanted to be. I wanted to be, and I wanted to be good. I had never learned to wait. I will list my fears for my audience. I am afraid of starting. I am afraid of stopping. I am afraid of leaving. I am afraid of arriving. I am afraid of breaking. I am afraid of fixing. I am afraid of asking. I am afraid of answering. I'm afraid of the sunset. I'm afraid of the sunrise. I'm afraid of birth. I'm afraid of death. No, you do not understand. I become afraid when I stop talking. I become afraid when I close my eyes. I become afraid when I look away. I become afraid when I leave the room. I become afraid when I go to bed. I'm afraid that the moment between us will end. You and I will cease, and the moment will never find us again. No, you do not understand. You will have been poisoned. I cannot explain it well enough. When I have looked away, someone will have poisoned you, or you will have poisoned yourself. It will have been my fault for having looked away. Do you not understand that if within this hypothetical I had not ceased, you would have remained? I want to be by myself and understand that when I return, you will be there and you will be you. Thank you.
I think you're a natural, so I think that's. Did I miss anybody? I knew there was somebody sitting over there, but he's not. Did I miss anybody? This is great. This is exactly what I love to see, is somebody new to the microphone, somebody that's got a lot of experience and stuff. So please come back. Make sure I have your email so that I can remind you guys to come. And stay and talk to each other. I know Alicia was looking to talk some information about publishing. I know there's quite a few publishers in here, people who have been published, so please share us your knowledge and stuff like that, and stick around and chat. So we have this room for as long as we want it. So, cool. Thanks, guys.